So go along with trusting your gut when it comes to buying houses. When they say you can afford a certain amount when buying this house, and if you have your goals written down, you will know that's not true. You should know how much money you make after taxes, how much money you can spend, how your expenses is gonna line up, and everything else. So you should always write down your goals, money-wise, anything. It should be written down so you can always revert back to it and know what's the truth and what's not.
Definitely. I mean, if you got a plan, can't nobody just come in and tell you, and you won't let anybody just come in and tell you, you know, this is what you should be able to do. Right. You know already. You can come to them and say, look, this is what I'm calculating. This is what I want to do. They can do the research and find out, you know.
And you protect yourself from yourself. Sometimes you can be your own worst enemy.
Mm-hmm.
And this way you can align yourself and be allies with yourself. Because sometimes stuff sounds too good.
That's a good way to put it. Be your own ally. They not on your side. Yeah. They just want your money. So
you can plan accordingly. I mean, you can plan what you can put up and invest, what you can save, what you can afford to try to flip. You know, I mean, it opens the door for a lot of different things when you know how much money you got.
And you know that all goes along with, you know, trusting yourself, understanding yourself, and educating yourself. You know, school is very lacking in financial education. It's non-existent in financial education. In today's era, we have so many things available to us that can help you to get a better understanding of finances. There's really no excuse for you not to know how to balance your finances. I mean, you got guys who can tell you how much LeBron James makes down to the game, the hour, the minute, and then you ask them what they netted last year, and they look at you like a deer in headlights. You know, so you really got to work on that. You got to really educate yourself, because at the end of the day, you're responsible for your financial well-being.
Right. I mean, I think when it comes to education, self-education, school education, school, it prepares you
to work
for somebody else, to be able to balance your checkbook. That's it.
And they don't even show you that.
No.
Legalized slavery.
Right. I mean, they teach you enough where you can figure out how to do that little stuff like that, and that's about it.
That's it.
Maybe they should update the education system, but they haven't done it. And, you know, like I always say about a lot of different things, either you're going to change the game or you're going to learn how to play it. So you're either going to change the economic system or the education system, or you're going to figure out what you can do for yourself and your family so you don't have to rely on only what they gave you, only the tools that they gave you.
Yeah, and you can always find beauty in a situation. And one of the beautiful things about the education system being what it is that there's no competition in finances. I mean, it's like going to a new school and only 5 people go out for the basketball team.
Right.
I mean, hell, you got a spot.
You made it.
You know what I mean?
I am successful.
Yeah, you are instantly on the team. Right. You know, so it's so much opportunity there because it's so unsaturated with everybody, not just black people, but everybody in general. Like the whole 100 years ago, 85% of the population was self-employed, and today, more than 85% of the population works for somebody else. So you got to figure there's opportunities. If those opportunities were there before, they're there today, and they're not being
utilized.
Exactly.
Right. And with the internet and all of that stuff nowadays, there's really no excuses not to learn this stuff. I mean, you might not feel like it or whatever. That's the only excuse is you.
Yeah.
The information is there, whether it's on Google, YouTube. You know, it's a number of websites that you can sit down and, you know, you take a half an hour every day and say, you know what, I'm going to learn. But most people's learning stops once they get out of school. Once it's not a structured education anymore, it's like, well, shit, I don't have to learn anything. And that's true. You don't have to do shit.
Yeah.
But it would benefit you to take this education, this free education, and run with it.
And you got to just accept that you don't know, but it's not okay not to know. I've recommended books to people about stocks and bonds, mutual funds, and things like that, and they'll say things like, I didn't know what the hell they were talking about, I couldn't get through it. And so, okay, I get it, you don't know it, but that's not really okay. You got all the time in the world. It's not like you have a test to take next Friday.
Read
So
the
you
book
need
twice.
to drop the class and
Right.
you know and not get that F.
But the funny thing is, if they did have a test to take next Friday, they would probably figure the shit out.
Yeah, yes,
Exactly.
yes, they would.
But they don't have any
Because it's self-education.
No self-validation. Yeah.
Definitely.
You should always be in an educating state.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be educated.
Yeah.
You should always be learning stuff, always reading stuff.
Especially with the vast resources we have at our fingertips now. And right now, it's not that they can't learn the stuff that's in that book. It's that they don't want to learn the stuff that's in the book. Because, I mean, there's nothing stopping you to go on Google or any other search engine if it's a word that you come across that you stumble upon and find out what the word is. Even if it was that they had to go to school next week and take a test, they would pass or try to pass the test, but they wouldn't try to retain, learn, and learn how to apply the information that they learn.
Just the thing about learning now is that as an adult, learning is fun. Because you get to learn what you like. I mean,
What
people,
you wanna learn.
yeah, people don't get it. Realize if you can tell me to start line up for the Cavs and to start line up for the Chicago, you learning. You're learning. You're learning what you like. You know what I mean? But we don't. I think in school, some people develop a hate for learning because you learn so much stuff that you don't like.
Right.
That by the time you get grown, you rebel against reading and you rebel against learning. And that's just a terrible spot to be in because the information out here is really exciting for anybody who's pursuing it. You know.
Yeah, absolutely true.
Because we are in the information age.
Yeah. And you either gonna keep up or get left behind.
I remember a quote that I read a while ago. I can't remember even who said it. They talked about formal education will make you a living. Self-education.
Zig Ziglar.
Zig Ziglar. Yeah, exactly. Self-education will make you a fortune.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's real. You can do whatever you want to do. If I said I wanted to, you know what, I'm from Cleveland and I don't really know much about it, but I think I want to dedicate the rest of my life to raising hogs.
Yeah.
I can learn how to raise hogs and become the best damn hog raiser, handler, whatever.
And there's so much money in livestock. You make a fortune.
Right.
These farmers
and you
out
can
here eat.
teach yourself how to do it.
Yeah.
I bet you there's a video on YouTube about it.
I guarantee there's a video on YouTube about it.
I bet you it is.
And
It'll
that's
tell
the
you
thing.
everything you need to do.
And everything is $1 million industry. I mean, this pen is $1 million industry. This case is $1 million industry. That cup on the table is $1 million industry. These cards are $1 million industry. So all you have to do is figure out how to take what you like and take what you want to do and figure out how to make money for you.
Definitely.
Heard on entry barriers.
Yeah. And you know, one of those barriers is the mine, all by myself mentality. You know, you got a lot of couples in relationships who
Keep separate accounts.
yeah, they keep separate accounts. They make their money individually. They split the bills. They don't combine anything except where they live. And it's like having a roommate that you sleep with all day.
So basically, you in a relationship, but you had a single person's mentality.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Exactly. That's a great way of putting it.
Yeah, and what happens with that though, one of the beauties of being married is that you're able to combine not just as a couple, but invest together, grow together, and build together. You know, but if I'm trying to build me and my wife is trying to build her, then it's really like stunts our growth.
Conflicting.
Yeah, it's conflicting and it stunts our growth because we're not working together as a team. You know, teams always do better than individuals.
I mean, it's just not possible to grow together and grow in opposite directions at the same time.
Exactly.
I mean, either y'all gonna be together or not, but I think that's one thing that needs to be discussed early in relationships. Just like we talk about in some of the videos that are about relationships, one thing that needs to be discussed early in relationships is money. You know, what's your views on money? What's your views on investing? What's your views on entrepreneurship? Stuff like that. I mean, I know when I was dating, I had a female, you know, this was when I was in the infant stages of my business building and all of that. And, you know, she just flat out asked me one day, you know, you ever thought about just getting a regular job?
Oh.
And I looked at her and I said, oh, no.
I gotta go. Right, I gotta go.
You ain't the one. You ain't the one. I mean, you know, even if I worked a regular job, that was a means to get to where I needed to go, where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
But she didn't say it in that manner. It was just like, why don't you give up on all of that and just be like me and just work? Not knowing that that would have killed me because that's not me.
Yeah,
you know?
You know, I would. Some people would be depressed not knowing what they make at the beginning of the year. You know, it's a new year, you just hit it, right? Some people, the idea of not knowing what you would make for this year would depress them. I'm the opposite. If I knew what I was going to make this year, and I knew I couldn't make any more, that shit would depress me. You know, I like to know that I can have instant gratification for my efforts. I can increase my pay
when you want to,
instantaneously.
Right.
You know, not by somebody telling me I'm bumping you up $2 grand, I'm bumping you up $3 grand, I'm bumping you up $1 or $2 an hour. I can come up with an idea, execute an idea, and increase my pay 20 grand this year, 30 grand this year, 40 grand this year, all off of the education that I've gained.
But that comes from the reason why people ain't. First of all, they're uncomfortable and they're lazy. And that started, like you said, 100 years ago when everybody used to have their own business. Used to be a blacksmith, used to be shoemaker, whatever you were. You were able to harness your skill, but they had to do that 7 days a week. That was their business.
Yeah.
So when the industrial boom tricked them into thinking, hey, you spend 40 hours a week in our building and do what we say, then you can have the weekends to yourself. And people was like, yeah, that's great. So they lost that freedom. Yeah. Even though you working 7 days a week, it's still a freedom because you can give yourself a raise when you want to.
And it's a lack of vision and imagination, because a lot of times people just can't see that big or believe that this stuff can happen. And a lot too that stopped a lot of the trades from back in the day too was the unions. You know, they seen a lot of us making money, being better than other races and stuff. So then the union gang came and put a big barrier there, you know. So that was also something that stopped us from being able to make our own little side money. It wasn't the only thing that stopped us, but, you know, it was one of the things that stopped us, too.
I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
But I still think that in this day and age, people need to realize that they can make money on their own.
Absolutely.
But, like the saying goes, scared money don't make money. If you are scared for this reason or the other, you're never going to make it. If you're scared that you're going to lose the car or the nice clothes that you used to buy in every 2 weeks or something like that, you're never going to make money. You don't deserve to make money if you're that scared of all of that stuff. You have to be willing to sacrifice and put stuff on the line. And know that things ain't always going to be all roses, but the benefit in the end can be much greater than the risk.
Exactly. You got to be willing. You got to be willing to fail. Most people are not willing to fail. That's a big thing. In order to be successful, you have to fail.
Yeah.
You have to. That's how you learn.
Yeah, and failures, they open the door for huge successes.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of times, I tell people when they talk about starting a business, the fears people have is like, they compare starting a business to jumping off a cliff, and it's more like jumping off a curb. I mean, like, the fall that you take really, especially if you do it the right way, is not as large as you think it's going to be. You might lose 5 or 10 grand or something like that, or you might lose some time that you dedicated. But what you've learned from that is so significant that it pays for itself in the long run should you keep going. The problem is people stop after that first failure and say, man, that shit don't work. You know, and so it ends up having you afraid to take those chances.
You just got to make sure the risks, too, are calculated risks, and not just big, dumb risks that don't have a reason behind it.
And you can't take one failure and think it means that it's not right. I mean, you had a bad relationship before, you still keep trying. You ate a bad burger before, you still eat burgers. It doesn't make sense that you try a business one time and like, oh, this is crazy, this don't work, and just stop doing it.
And it's kind of like what we talked about in the beginning with our self-worth not being tied to our bank account. If you got that in mind and you build a business and it fails, It's cool.
Yeah.
I still got the wife at the house. She supports me.
Yeah.
It's cool. All right. I'm going to go back to the drawing board. I'll be back next year with another business, or I'll be back next month. Or I had this little backup plan just in case things didn't work. I'm still okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard people talk about Donald Trump. He ain't that. He's whatever. But he's bankrupted a couple businesses.
Many businesses. Good.
He's still making money, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, another thing people don't realize in the business game is that once you're good at what you do, you don't even risk your own money. Once you build business credit and you have a name out here, Donald Trump doesn't spend his own money.
Exactly.
Well, he don't spend his own money to start businesses, and he don't lose his own money when he runs them to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Because your credit is separate with your business than it is with your as an individual.
Right.
It may not start off that way, but if you operate your business successfully and you have a track record of operating a successful business, then eventually you can get a loan based off of these are the businesses I've succeeded
that
with.
individual business also.
Yeah.
So you might have 5 different businesses plus yourself. That's 6 different credit profiles.
Yeah, 6 different socials. And then too, you know, it's people really need to get into the idea of multiple streams of income.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't mean multiple streams of income as in getting 2 jobs. I'm talking about having something that pays you when you're not working. You know, there's no greater feeling than being able to go to Cedar Point and know that when you get home, you're going to have a $500 waiting on you or
some kind of
$1,000 waiting on you just because of what you've put in place to do that for you.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's one thing I've seen the importance of for a while, just because it's like you said, there's no greater feeling than to know that your money is working for you, even when you're not there, or that you can make a dollar for yourself.
Yeah.
That you don't have to depend on, even if you still have a job. There's nothing wrong with having a job at all, but that's a beautiful feeling to know that even if this job goes away, I can still make money. I can still provide for myself, for my family, whatever, because I know how to make money. I have multiple streams of income.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful, beautiful way to alleviate stress from work in itself. Everybody has, well, a lot of people have that one person at the job who just ain't stressed like everybody else. Right. That woman might say, well, my husband owns a company.
Right.
Or when we have kids, we're going to live off my husband's income. Whatever the case may be, they have
A different peace of mind.
different peace of mind because they're not solely dependent on this job. They're not solely dependent on somebody. Nobody can just come in and just completely disrupt their life.
Destroy it. Like, you don't need the job.
Right.
Yeah.
You're just working the job. You don't need it.
Yeah, and one way to look at business, I remember a client told me that she could never imagine doing what I do and owning my own company because what happens if it didn't work? And I told her, like, okay, it takes one person to stop your income. They don't even have to be in the same room as you. They don't have to be in the same state as you. It can be somebody at the top saying, we need to make cuts to build an arena.
Right.
Cut this many people. Mm-hmm. It takes hundreds of thousands of people for me to stop making money because I'm not employed by one individual. When you are a business owner, then you're employed by multiple people. Mm-hmm. You're employed by the whole community. And as long as you can find a place to utilize, keep your business necessary in that community, you'll never just stop making money. You may have some ups, you may have some downs, but ultimately you'll always have income coming in, and you always have a means of increasing that income just by increasing your hustle game, increasing your advertising, increasing your marketing.
I mean, I think now will probably be a good time for us to even talk about, a couple different hustles. Because we're talking about multiple streams of income, all of us have multiple streams of income. Just to kind of put it out there, just because sometimes people say, I always hear people talking about you need multiple streams of income, you can do this, you can do that, but it's not that easy. When I sit down and I try to think about what I can do in real life, I draw a blank. So, one thing I'm doing even on my YouTube channel, Ted's Daily Bread, is talking about the hustle of the week. Hustle of the week is we just talk about a different hustle every week. The first one that I'm doing right now, or that's already completed, is what I call a Facebook page hustle. Where if you go out and find businesses that have maybe or maybe not have a presence on the web, and you offer to create a Facebook page for them. You might charge them $200 to $500 to create that page. Let's say you get 100 people at $200 a pop. You just made some pretty good money for creating Facebook pages. 10 people, you just made $2,000. In addition to that, to keep money coming in, kind of create a residual income, you can continue to update that Facebook page for them every month or a couple times a week in return for whatever dollar amount you agree on. It's an easy hustle, small learning curve. You don't need a lot to know how to build a Facebook page. You mess with it for a couple of weeks, sit down for a couple of days, and you'll be good at it. It's pretty good money to be made, easy hustle.
Another one of my old hustles, and I still dip and dive in it from time to time, is just flipping cars. A cousin of mine and myself, we would go out to the auction, buy cars real low, maybe $400, $500, $600, fix them up, and sell them for $2,000, $3,000. Especially in seasons like now, when tax returns are coming and people are constantly looking to spend that money. you could easily go out and buy you a few cars and sit on them and sell them. And you know, the beauty of it is that it doesn't really take long, but you have to be, well, it takes a little bit more money than what Ted mentioned, and you have to have the patience. Don't go out and spend $500 if you need by the end of the month to pay your rent.
Right.
That you have to spend money that you can sit on for a little while, and then when it comes, and money's always on time when it comes.
One that I have, like you, I haven't done in a while. Your deal. I haven't done in a while, but I used to do eBay, and most people can do eBay just from the stuff in your house. It ain't even that hard that you have to go out and buy stuff. Most people have a garage or a basement or attic full of stuff that they no longer want. A lot of people collect stuff. They're collectors of everything. So you can find out what people like to collect, see what's hot out there, put it on eBay, and sell stuff that you already own.
Definitely.
And if you get good at it, you can do the garage sale. I'm going to go do the garage sale. I'm going to do this and all the flea market and go find stuff and sell it on eBay.
What you can do is go to the grocery store, cut up slices of cake, and take it to beauty salons and sell it for $3 a slice. You can take it to offices where people can't get up and move around, and they love sweets. You can sell it there. You can go to the Sam's Club, buy some candy, bag it up, sell a bag for $1. What's those things? Those sweet and sour, any of those little things. People love candy. You chew on it, nibble on it. It's not healthy, but you're trying to make money.
One more little hustle for a lot of the computer literate kids out there, or just people period. It's a lot of people who design. They're in graphic design. There's a lot of graphic design programs out here that people are going to. And it's, for one, it's part of sharpening your skills. Two, it's part of getting you great. And three, most black businesses don't have a real logo. You know, they don't have a logo that they've patented and protected and things like that. So if you take a city like Cleveland, who has a ton of barbershops and beauty salons, and just make a bunch of different logos, show them to people, sell them to them, and then actually you could even do the whole process of patenting that logo and tying it to them. And they'll pay you for it. You know, everybody wants something. If you do your logo research, you'll see that it does add a huge value to your business. Mm-hmm. So you can bring this to them and let them know what you can do for them. I can give you the logo and give you the rights to it. You can legalize it, or if you want me to legalize it, you add a few more dollars and I'll do it that way. There's a lot of hustles out there for people who have computer skills that they just don't utilize. Most design people are always looking to find jobs, but they have no idea how much small business owners constantly need design work done.